And I'm sharing my screen. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So yesterday we learned uh, so like a few things about the agile methodology, where what kind of meetings that will happen in the agile methodology, and today we will understand certain terminologies that are used in agile methodologies, right? So name reading as uh, terminologies used agile. Mm. All right, and save. Right. So um, there is something called as epic. So we'll understand what is this epic. Um, epic is basically it is a collection of user stories. Okay, um, wherein a large requirement is broken down into smaller stories or smaller units of requirement. Okay, so basically now, for example, I can tell you uh, what will happen is there is a new feature that should be implemented in the existing application. For example, I can take the example of um, how to say, hmm, okay, a referral example only I'll take. There is an existing application wherein they want to increase the user base for that application, and the business team will come up with the requirement. We want to increase the user base of our application. So one way to increase the user base is we will give a referral option, and once we refer the users and users get onboarded successfully with the referral code, then the user who referred, they will be getting some benefits, or they'll be getting some rewards. Okay, so now to here, this is a simple requirement, but actually speaking, in order to implement this, right, there should be a separate option called as referral. And once user clicks on that referral option, the existing user clicks on that referral option, what should happen? A referral code should be generated, and you should have an option to share that referral code that got generated, right? And once it is shared, the new user should be able to sign up to the application using that referral code, right? So there should be, once user tries to sign up, there should be an option which should ask the user, do you have any referral code to sign up, correct? And using that referral code, user should be able to sign up. And once user sign up and he does any transaction using that application, then the user who referred him should get some rewards, right? So on a briefer note, if you see, it's just a referral, but inside there'll be so many things has to be implemented, so many things has to be tested over here, right? So this would be a whole requirement that would be given by the business team to product team, and product team will streamline it properly and inform or uh, explain that particular requirement to the engineering team, that is developers and the QA engineers. Okay, now we will not be able to implement that particular referral feature on a whole. So what we will be doing, we will be breaking down that particular requirement into small stories, right? So how we can break it down, I'll give you a simple example with that same referral thing, whatever that I explained. So there should be a referral option or a referral button that should be implemented. I'll make this as one user story. And the next user story is, once I click on that particular referral button, it should generate me a referral code. And this referral code should be a unique referral code for each and every user. I will make that as a second story. And once the referral code is generated, I should be able to share that referral code through multiple social media, right? So sharing the referral code, I should be able to share it through WhatsApp. I should be able to share it through Instagram or Twitter or Telegram, etc. Right? So these are the different referral code sharing media. I should be able to share it using those particular social media. That would be my third user story. Okay. And my fourth user story is, using the referral code, the user should be able to successfully sign up. That is my fourth user story. And once the user sign up and he does any transaction, then the user who referred that new user should be getting some rewards. This would be my fourth or fifth user story. I'm telling it on a briefer note, but it might have more number of stories. Why? Because they'll have to create a database table for it separately. For that, there might be a backend user story. So getting the point, guys. Uh, so you are able to try to picturize whatever that I'm trying to tell you, people.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Epic is a requirement of a one complete project or one complete feature that we are going to develop. Okay. And these requirement would be broken down into multiple stories. So through these stories, the implementation or the development can be achieved by the developers, and it can be tested by the test engineers. Okay. So I'll say Epic, uh, it is a collection of um, stories and tasks. Okay. Uh, it is a collection of stories and tasks that has to be achieved, that has to be achieved. Um, the stipulated time frame. Okay. Now, the next terminology that is used is user story. See, stories, user story, everything is same. Okay. Few people tend to call that as story, few people tend to call it as user story. Don't get confused, both are same only. Okay. People use different terminologies in the industry. Okay. Now, as I told you, what is the story? It is the, um, I can say, smallest, smallest, smallest unit of the feature that has to be implemented or developed. Right. So the epic will be broken down into multiple stories, and that stories would be the smallest units of the feature, which will be developed or implemented by the development team. And same way, the testing team also will test it based on the developed or the implemented stories. And mm, tasks. I'll say what is this tasks. Basically, this would be not their tasks. See, tasks is something which is equivalent to stories, but under stories we can create a subtask. These things, right? So whenever I am teaching you the Jira tool, right? All these things you will be encountering, right? There's epic, story, tasks, subtasks, bugs, etc. Everything you will be understanding. I'll be teaching you them practically while teaching you the Jira tool. Okay. As of now, just try to understand with theoretical concept. Okay. So tasks are, I can say, subtasks. Uh, so what will happen in this subtask? Whatever the story that we have created, right? Under that story, they will be implementing each and every concept. Suppose there has to be any table that has to be created in the database. For that, they will create one subtask under the story, and then they will achieve it. And once the table is created, what all the columns that it should have, that table should have, to implement that, they will create one subtask. And once after they create it, the developers will do a unit testing. So in order to do that unit testing, they will create one subtask and they will perform that unit testing, or they'll come up with the unit test cases. And once they come up with the unit test cases, they'll create one subtask stating execution of unit test cases. Why they will create these subtasks? Basically for tracking purpose. So the engineering manager or the lead who is leading that particular project will get to know what all the things the developers are working on with respect to that particular story. Okay, so that is the reason they create a subtask, and based on that particular subtask, they will start implementing and start achieving the things. Okay, so mm, so I can say subtasks uh, is broken stories to be implemented. Right, so epic is broken into stories, and stories are further broken down into subtasks which can be implemented. Okay, so this is one more terminology that is used, and the next terminology would be the sprint. So what is the sprint? So a sprint is a, I can say, a commitment that we provide, or a commitment that we take in order to achieve implementing certain stories or tasks. Okay, so as I already told you, people, like, a sprint can be of 15 days in certain organization. In certain organization, a sprint can be of 30 days. Okay, it depends on organization to organization, but basic and standard rule, Like a sprint will be for 15 days, most of the organizations that they will follow. And in certain organization, not sure, like I have worked for one of the client where they used to follow the sprint for 30 days. So it depends on organization to organization, and it depends on how they uh, select follow their process, how they want to follow their process. Okay, so based on this, the sprint timeline would be decided. And what is the sprint? I will say a sprint is a commitment uh, by the engineers, I can say the developers or the test engineers, in order to achieve the stories and the subtasks or tasks in a particular sprint. Okay, so sprint is a commitment achieve the user stories and user stories milestone or tasks, subtasks in the well, right. So this is known as a sprint. And next thing, there is something called sprint board. Okay. So the sprint board, I'll tell you. So based on the projects, right, which are project that you are working on, based on that particular project, there would be a sprint board that would be created in the Jira tool. Okay. So what will happen in the sprint board? In this sprint board only, we will be creating all the epics, stories, tasks, subtasks, or even bugs. While testing, we'll find the bugs, right? Those bugs also created under this particular sprint board itself. So basically, they will create a sprint board for a specific project, and within this project, we will be creating all the tickets. So if I use this term called as ticket, okay, a ticket can be a user story, a ticket can be a task, a ticket can be a subtask, a ticket can be a bug also. Okay, so basically this is one term that they will use in the industry. All right, so a sprint board is a board which consists of all the stories, tasks, or subtasks which are committed to be achieved in the current sprint. So, whatever the sprint that you create, right, you will be creating that sprint in this sprint board itself. Once you create a sprint, you'll have to mention the start date of the sprint and the end date of the sprint, right? So, then only you will be able to track, okay, whatever the stories that is picked in this particular sprint would be managed in that particular sprint board. And once you have committed that you will be achieving so many stories in this sprint, you should be able to achieve it. And if you are not able to achieve it due to some XYZ reason, and if the reason is acceptable or legitimate, it should be fine, not an issue. Okay. So sprint board, I'll say uh, it's the board which consists of stories and tasks that are committed. achieved the current sprint. Okay, so whatever that I am explaining you here, right? Everything you will be learning practically while understanding the Jira tool. Okay, then mm, what else? What else? Huh, there is something called burn down chart. Okay, so burn down chart. What is this burn down chart? This burn down chart, it will represent uh, the number of stories that are committed which are achieved in that particular sprint. Okay, so whatever the commitment that we give, right, in a particular sprint, okay, through this burn down chart we will be able to uh, like understand what all the committed stories those are achieved in this current sprint. Okay, so is a chart which represents the um, which represents the committed user stories that are achieved the sprint. Okay, this is one more terminology. Epic user story, subtask, sprint board, rundown chart, huh, spillover. Okay, so there is a terminology that is used called a spillover. Um, so what is the spillover? The spillover is basically it is the stories or the tasks which are not achieved in the current sprint, and it can be moved to the upcoming sprint or it can be moved to the next sprint. Okay, as the name says, spillover is something which is spilled and not achieved in the current sprint. Okay, so there is one more terminology that they will be using during the sprint planning or say like a DSM, daily stand-up meeting. During the daily stand-up meeting, we will have a better understanding. Okay, this particular story which is there in the sprint, it might not be picked. It might be a spillover to the next sprint. So, and also during the grooming call, also we will get a understanding. Okay, so like this is a spilled over item from a previous sprint, and it should be picked in this current sprint. Okay, and suppose in case imagine the priority of any particular story would be uh, less, then what they will do, they will include a story which will have more priority than this in the sprint, and they will make the other story whose priority is less and they will make it as a spillover, right? So this way they use this terminology called a spillover which is not achieved in that particular sprint. Okay, so basically it is the stories um, or the tasks which are not achieved in the current sprint, and uh, it is moving to the upcoming sprint. Okay, so epic user story, Subtask, sprint, go one on shot, spill over. Yeah, I think I have covered most of the terminologies that would be used in the Scrum. So, any doubts here, guys? Whatever that you have understood here.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So, let's continue. Hmm, the next concept that we will understand is domain. Okay. So, can somebody tell me what is a domain? See, I don't want a precise answer or actual answer. Whatever that is your understanding, if you tell me that, I will be definitely happy. Okay, later I'll tell you what exactly is a domain.
Sir, in a particular field,
Mm-hmm. It is a particular field. Okay. Anybody else? What do you think a domain is? Any others?
Particular address.
A particular address. Yeah. All right.
Mm. Yes. The field which in which we have specialization.
Can you repeat that?
The field in which we have specialization.
Okay, great. All right. So, um, whatever you people have told, yeah, that is right. So, any specialization or a specific field, right? But I will say, what I will say is a domain basically is used to understand, or a domain is basically used to identify the service, okay, that is provided over the internet, right? A domain is something which is used to identify the service, okay. Here, what is service? Service, as in, it can be a e-commerce service, right? um or I can say it can be any delivery service, right? So we have so many delivery partners as of now, like Porter, right? Um,
Uncle
yeah, Uncle Delivery, etc. Right? So now, what is this delivery? It is a service, right? So basically, domain is used to identify the service which is provided over the internet or provided with the help of the internet. So without internet, will we be able to use any particular domain? No, right? So I'll say domain is identify uh, the service that is that is provided through the internet. Okay. So this is known as a domain. Now we'll have to understand what are the different types of domain that is available, right? So in order to understand the domain better, okay, we need to understand what are the types of the domain. So now you people are going to help me out to understand what are the different types of domain. Let me start with one. There is something called as say banking domain, right? Mm, insurance domain, mm, insurance, banking, say healthcare domain. Come on, tell me what are the other domains that you people are aware of?
E-commerce,
Yes, e-commerce,
education,
excellent. Education domain.
anything related to government schemes like .gov.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
No, sir. Like government schemes, we will get like .gov.in, government related.
Acha, okay. Um, I can say finance, right? So anything which falls under government scheme. So government scheme would be most of all it would be financial based, right? So you will have to invest some amount and you'll be getting good returns based on the investment that you do, correct?
Okay.
And I can say travel domain, right? This Go Ibibo,
Gaming, sir. Gaming domain.
yeah, gaming, correct? Gaming domain,
News, sir. We can take that.
uh, news. I can say media domain.
Journalism.
Okay.
Yeah, media would be a suitable word, I believe, right? Mm, I can say hospitality, hospitality domain. I can say trading domain, mm, social media, right? Like this WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Mm, can say telecom, telecom domain. What else? Yeah, you can say CRM is um, CRM is customer relationship management. What else?
What it is, sir?
Yeah, you can consider OTT as certified. Next,
Clouds, cloud services.
yeah, cloud management services,
Manufacturing domain.
manufacturing. Yes,
Job
Cyber
domains.
security.
mm, acha, job search. You mean to say, or can you repeat that?
Cyber
What?
security.
Sorry.
Cyber.
Cyber security, right? Security domain. I can say HR, that is human resource management.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, nowadays AI is
Sir, defense.
yeah, nobody will be having any access towards the defense. Person who has authority or he can only access it. Fine. Yeah. I can say ERP, enterprise resource planning. Mm,
Real estate, sir.
yeah,
Real estate.
yeah. Real estate is a domain. Yes. Any others that you can remember? Mm, marketing, right? Same with sales. I think this is more than sufficient, right? So there are more than this, right? More domains than this. But yeah, we are able to list out around 25 among them. That would be great. Now, among these particular domains, okay, we will be going through in depth with respect to e-commerce domain. Okay, so now I want you people to help me out different applications that are available, okay, in this e-commerce domain, right? So for example, I can say flipkart.com, right? This is one best example for e-commerce domain. And then the next biggest giant around the globe is amazon.com.
Mintra,
Myntra, yes,
First Cry,
first, yeah,
Walmart.
okay, Walmart,
Ajio,
Nika,
sorry,
Azio,
Ajio,
Misho,
Miro, yes,
Hopscotch,
hopscotch,
Nika,
Myntra,
Snapdeal.
Snapdeal, yes,
Purple.com.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Purples.
Purple, purple, right?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Is it any cosmetic
Yes, sir.
related?
yes, yeah.
Yes.
What else?
Sketches.
Sorry,
Sketches.
HS. Okay,
Lens card.
Max,
lens card.
Max,
Does Max provide delivery, or they do have a separate website wherein we can?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, logocam.com.
Sorry, logo,
Came, sir.
logo, came,
Sir, logo. BO.
logo. Okay, logo came.
Yes.
What is that?
C. Sir, chem. It's provide chemicals.
Okay, chemicals are something similar to this pharmaceutical or
Not sir,
specifically chemical?
experimental type chemicals.
Okay. Okay, now we can order those things through online.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so to order those chemicals, do we require any, how to ask you, like, suppose imagine if I want to order medicines online, right? I need to have prescription, correct? So in the same way, do I need to have any sort of documents in order to order these chemicals? Out of curiosity, I'm asking.
No, sir. Like just we, in Flipkart owner we register and we'll do no sir like that only sir. Want to register and order.
Okay, okay, okay. Right. Why? Because see, there would be certain chemicals, right, which would not be uh, given just like that. So, which is why I was asking it. Just got
Yes, I understand. But in college we have used it in to order in this only, sir.
Okay. Okay.
DMart ready apps.
Dmart also provides delivery.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Big basket.
Yeah. Big basket. Mm, what else? Anything else? I can include this one in.
Pepper fry furniture.
Sorry,
Pepper fry furniture.
pepper fry. Okay. What they does?
Furniture, sir.
Furniture.
Furniture.
All right. I believe we have listed more e-commerce applications. Okay. So why I made you people to list down these e-commerce applications is like our pretty first project that we are going to explore would be a e-commerce application only. Okay. So why? Because see, e-commerce is such a kind of application where, as of now, the current world is living their life through e-commerce itself. Take anything, people will tend to order it through online, right? Whether it can be a lifestyle apparels or anything. Like if you want to buy a phone, before what we used to do, we used to go to multiple mobile showrooms just to check whether we'll get one 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees less, right? But from the place where you are sitting, you will be able to search for the phone who gives you a better deal, right? So obviously, the like e-commerce is a booming industry in the current market, right? So I just wanted to make you people list down this application, and I will be picking up one particular application. Um, okay, and we will be exploring that application completely. And once we explore it, we will come up with a test plan by picking one particular feature, and we will be coming up with the test cases writing for the complete application. Okay, so basically that is the plan, and you will understand how to explore any particular given application and understand the functionality of that application. Why exploratory? As I already told you in my pretty first class, right? Once you join any organization, if you are lucky enough, you might get an application which they have started developing from the start. You will be lucky enough to get such kind of project. But most of the company wherever you join, the application will be already developed and the end users will be using it. Above that, they will be building certain new features, right? So in order to understand the existing application, you'll have to explore it, and then only you will be able to understand it better. Okay, so in this case, the exploratory of application will play a major role, right? So keeping that in mind, we have a exploratory testing project that we have designed in our project session. Okay, now the pretty next concept that we are going to understand would be the main concept. I would like to ask you people a question. What is a project? What is a project? You can try and tell me what is your understanding. Okay, then later I'll tell you.
It's a task or assignment.
It's a task or assignment. Okay, good. Anybody else? What is a project?
So when it comes to like office level, so project is like kind of a specific product which we are working. So people working in for that product, we will term that as a project team.
Okay, so in simple terms, what you're trying to say is like anything that we are trying to achieve can be called as a project.
Yeah,
Okay.
specific team of members working for that.
Okay. Okay. Great. Anybody else? What is your thinking?
A kind of task which is needed to be completed in given time, certain period of time.
Okay, great. A task which has to be completed in a certain time frame. Okay. All right. So your understanding is correct. Okay. Um, a project is a task which has to be completed, and a project is a task which has to be achieved. Okay. But as per my understanding, what I term a project is uh, it is a solution to a given problem. Okay. So in my first session, I have explained you people about the Pepsi company, right? So basically, in order to find what is the number of units that is manufactured in a particular month and a year, and what is the number of units that is distributed to the retailers in a specific month and a year, in order to identify that, okay, if you would have made a note of it in a written note, to identify that, it would be a tedious task, or in other term I can say it is a huge problem. Or if that particular written note is lost somewhere, right, will you be able to identify the number of manufactured units or number of units of Pepsi that is distributed to the retailers? There is no way, right? So what is it? It is a problem, correct? So whoever wants a software to run a business, right, basically they want to avoid certain problems and make their business to run easily. That is the reason they want a software to be developed in order to run their business, right? So as per my understanding, I believe that this would be a better description that can be given for a word called as project. So a project is a solution for any given problem. So what would be the solution? So what is the solution that we gave for Pepsi? We developed a software, and in that particular software, if we provide the or if we select the month and the year, it would give us the number of units that is manufactured. and it would give us the number of units that is distributed to the retailers, right? Don't you think it would be a kind of a permanent solution for the problem that Pepsi was facing,
Yes, sir.
right? So take any customer, if he wants a software, which means that he's trying to identify a solution for whatever the problem that he is facing. Okay. But whatever you people have told, yeah, even that suits well. I'm not denying it, right? But as per my understanding, this is what I feel would suit better for the question, what is a project? Okay. So what is a project? Project is a solution to one problem. But there is a problem and I want a solution. If you want to come up with a solution, then you will do certain things. And you can tell that as a project. Clear? Okay. Now, let us go further and understand. Okay. So, take any particular project, it will have certain stages. Okay. So, any project, it will have three stages. Okay. So, what are those stages? We'll understand. The pretty first stage would be the, I can say, initiation stage. Okay. What will happen in this initiation stage? I'll write it. Initiation stage. So, what is this initiation stage? And what will happen in this initiation stage? In this initiation stage, we will try to understand what exactly is the problem or what exactly is the requirement of the customer, right? So, if we understand the problem statement or if we understand the requirement, then only we can move further, right? So, this is the pretty first stage. So, understand the problem or requirement of customer. So if I use this term problem, that would not sound good. That is the reason I am giving another statement called as requirement. Okay. Understand the requirement of the customer. Okay. So we cannot directly say, hey, this is your problem. No. Instead, we can ask the customer, okay, this is your requirement. Yeah. That is understood. So in this initiation stage, what will happen? We will understand the requirement of the customer. Okay. Who does this? As we already know, I'll just mention that person's name also. That's business analyst. Right. So now, once we have understood the problem or once we have collected the requirement from the customer, what would be the next stage? The next stage would be development stage. Right? The next stage would be development stage. So, wherein we will be developing the application or the software, okay, by understanding the requirement technically. Okay. Now, whatever the requirement that is understood by the business analyst, they will inform the technical team or the engineering team. Okay. Now, what engineering team will do or the development team will do, they will understand the requirement technically, and then they will develop the application by writing some code. Okay. And once the application is developed, the application will be tested. Why it would be tested? See, it is a simple understanding. Now, suppose imagine I am a developer. I understood the requirement technically and I started coding. Okay. And suppose imagine there is no testing team that is available. Only developer should be testing it. Imagine a situation. I developed the software by writing the code. Do you think I will find the problem in my code? Or even though if I find a problem in my code, what I will do? I'll simply hide it. So, actually speaking, the mentality of people is nobody wants to identify the problem or the issues that is developed by them. Getting the funda? So that is how a team called as testing team got evolved in the software industry. And we Indians, right, we are really very good at identifying the mistakes done by others. Okay, we are not really good at identifying the mistakes done by us. Agree with me?
Yes.
Right? So that is the reason they, in engineering department, they created one opening called as test engineers, QA engineers, and they brought people and make them identify the mistakes done by others. Right? So this way, what will happen? The quality of the application also increases, right? And the customers, end users who uses the application will also be having a better satisfaction. Clear? So yeah, let's come out of that story. I'll just mention like um so what development stage in development stage what will happen? Understand the uh, requirement technically and understand the requirement technically and develop the application by writing the code and test the application. So test the application means yeah, like identify the mistakes and get them fixed. All this process will happen over here. Okay. All right. So now the final stage is the closure stage, closure of the project. Right. So once the development stage is complete and we feel, yeah, this project is um, say like working as per the expectation or working as per the customer's requirement. Now, what we'll do, like we will close this project and submit it to the customer. Okay. So once we submit it to the customer, all right, um, it is not the end of it. We will have something called as maintenance state. But in that maintenance state, there won't be much engineers wi- uh, will be involved, right? Only few engineers are sufficient. Why? Because the project is stable and the customer is able to use his project or the application to run his business and it is working smoothly. But You might get some edge cases, okay, wherein you would require some help in fixing that. Then the maintenance team will be working towards it. But actually speaking, these are the major three stages, okay, that you'll come across in any particular project. So in the closure state, so I can say it is a closure of the project or the application. So these are the stages, okay. Um, take any particular project: initiation stage, development stage, and closure stage. All right. So any doubts here, guys? Whatever that you understood with respect to project.
No, sir.
Okay. So I wanted to start with concept called as business models in e-commerce. Okay. So so I don't think so. I'll have sufficient time in order to cover it. Also, I'll once after I cover the business models of e-commerce, one more very important concept that I will start with is the environment. Okay. So in real time industry, in the software companies, what exactly is the environment and how the environments will be made use of, and how you will be testing the given build or the application in different environments, you'll be understanding it tomorrow in tomorrow's session. So don't miss tomorrow's session. It would be a really very important session. Okay. So you'll understand in the IT company how you will be testing the application in different environments, and also you'll understand what exactly is the environment and how these environments are useful in order to test any particular given application, right? So I'll be explaining you these things in detail in tomorrow's session, so don't miss tomorrow's class. It will be of really very help to you people once you get a job and once you start working. Okay. So I will stop it here today. Okay. And if you have any doubts in today's session, you can ask me, or else we can wind up for the day and we'll continue again tomorrow.
No, sir.
No doubt.
Okay. All right. Fine. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
Sir,
Yes.
uh, how many days will it take to complete this project classes
Um,
approximately?
See, the duration is 1 month. So
Okay.
most probably by September 5th, I'll be completing it. Okay. And in case if I feel that it goes beyond that, what I will do is I might take one weekend, like one Sunday or Saturday, so that I can cover most of the concepts. But my target is to complete by 5th of September.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right.